I'm Jonah Powell. I grew up in Franklin, Tennessee, just south of Nashville. Went to high school there, and then went to undergrad at a college named Tennessee Tech, which is kind of eastern Tennessee, and got an undergraduate degree in wildlife and fishery science. Graduated, I guess, December of 23. It's about 2.5 years ago. And then right after I graduated, got a job at a company called Civil and Environmental Consultants, and was like an environmental scientist for them for 2 years, which everyday task was something different. But I was outside, and that's what I wanted to do. So as I was working, I was in their water resources department. So I do a lot of water sampling, or like the state would hire our company and I go out and inspect a construction site. So a bunch of random stuff, but like that was kind of the broad term, was environmental scientist. But I got to use my degree, which was fun.
How did you get it there?
I did a couple internships beforehand, like in college, that gave me like an idea of where I wanted to go. And so I did state work, and then I did private consulting, and I knew I wanted to do private. And so I just found this job on Indeed, and then interviewed and loved it. And it was nice because it was in my hometown, which was just totally by chance. And so I got to live at home for 2 years and just save all the money I made, which was awesome. So it's definitely a blessing that God gave me, that kind of financial security before I came here. But I never planned to go to ministry. I never thought I'd do it.
Yeah, that's the question that I'm going to ask you next. But like, did you say you were born as a Christian family?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I grew up in a Baptist church. I was baptized when I was 10. And sadly, I don't really remember it much. I knew I believed who Jesus was and what he did. But I didn't like fully follow Jesus until like I was 18, which was like freshman year of college. Just a lot of conviction about the sin I was involved in. I was like numb to it. And through discipleship, I had a mentor of mine who played a big part in my life. And through him just pouring into me, I felt like such a hypocrite for how I was living. I was like, I knew all the right answers from Sunday school and growing up in church, but the way I was living my life was just total opposite. And so I was like, what am I doing? And so it was a gradual kind of change of lifestyle, but eventually I got back to following Jesus.
Okay, so can I ask, like, what kind of like sin that you committed?
So high school was kind of like a turning point. I just wanted to follow the crowd, and so I got involved with drinking and smoking weed and just chasing girls. So that was kind of I was just like what everyone was doing, you know. I wanted to be a typical high school kid, and so I chased that all throughout high school. And what really like helped me realize like what am I doing was I was dating this girl kind of senior year of high school going into college, and we were dating, and she wasn't a Christian. It was not a Christian relationship, and I felt so convicted. At first I loved it. It's like everything I ever wanted, you know, but slowly as the relationship went on, I was like, this is not good. And I felt so bad for what I was doing. And it was through like people in my life saying like, if you really are a Christian, like what are you doing, you know? And so finally we broke up, and that helped me like finally follow Jesus again.
How many girls have you dated?
What?
How many have I have? That was like the first real one.
Okay.
Like I guess there's been like short-term relationships in high school, and then that one kind of senior of high school going into college, and then I actually later on in college, I actually dated a girl for like 2.5 years. We were engaged actually. So like, I guess 2 years ago, right after I graduated.
Wait, you're not married yet?
No,
okay.
No. So we broke up like 2 years ago, which is it sucked. You know, like I thought I was going to marry this girl, but turns out it's such a blessing that it did not work out, because I wouldn't be here. So it sucked for a good year, 2 years, but I'm thankful that it happened. I'm thankful for the relationship because it helped me grow a lot, but even more so that we didn't get married. So yeah, there's a lot of crap that just happened that got me to this point, and it's very gradual. But yeah, that was one of the big moments that grew my faith, because part of the reason we broke up was there's multiple reasons, but like I made marriage such an idol and her such an idol to where like when we broke up, I was like devastated because she was my whole world. You know, and not a healthy sense. Like it was not healthy, our relationship by that point towards the end. And she was a Christian. But yeah, so that it was just so hard because I was so emotionally invested. And so kind of growing from that, not depressed, but you know, just like it was rough.
Right.
And so that deepened my faith more than I ever could have imagined. It helped me ask those hard questions, like why is this happening? Like why do bad things happen to people, good people, you know, stuff like that. So once I started asking those questions, and honestly a lot of doubt. I doubted a lot during that time, but that helped me like grow
So you
closer.
doubted the Christianity, or
Just like God. I'm
Yeah.
like, what am I doing? You know, I was tired of these superficial answers, or like these answers that I grew up with. So I dove deep into like, what do I actually believe? What am I going to do with my life? Stuff like that.
so you said the mentoring courses that you've been taking, that changes you a lot. There's a one mentor that
Yeah, this one guy, his name's Jake. He was my youth leader growing up, and now he's like my best friend. But he's always been in my life, even like throughout high school when I was an idiot. You know, he was always in my life.
Yeah.
And I was still going to church, but like he knew the things I was up to. He has a similar background. I think when all this crap happened, and I was like, who do I turn to? I turned to him, and he helped me throughout all this and pointing me to Christ. And so that helped me grow my faith a lot. He was a big influence on how.
But was
I
it
got
like a
here.
sudden change that you have been
It was gradual.
gradually?
Like growing my faith, yeah, it was gradual, especially through that. I'll open another can of worms, but another thing that helped me grow was, so as I graduated senior year of high school, I signed up for the Marines. It was my dream to go into the military.
Nice.
And so I signed up. I signed the paper 2 years before I was going to go to basic training. I got this colon disease called ulcerative colitis, which is just like inflammation in your large intestine. And that disqualified me from going. Like 2 months before I was about to leave.
Okay.
And I was devastated because this was a dream
Yeah.
that I had. And I was so sure, because I'm like you, I like to plan out my life. And so that was the plan I had, and God was like, nope, couldn't be more clear. And so that kind of woke me up, just like my faith. Because during this time I was dating that girl. So all this is happening at the same time.
Okay.
And so that kind of helped me just think about what am I doing with my life. And so I decided to go go to college. And as I'm going through college, my new goal is to be like a game warden, which is like a wildlife police officer, because my major is wildlife. And so that was my dream. And then with my health, I couldn't do it. And I did an internship for them, and I was like, I can't do this.
But why does that matter? The disease that you have.
The disease?
Yeah.
So like, just constant inflammation. So like, I'm always drained.
So you have to drink a lot of water?
Yeah, stuff like that. I'm trying to think. It was just a constant pain, you know, chronic inflammation in my body. It was just like, I always feel sick. You know, my immune system is always like low. And so, because I was all in all this medicine, and throughout these years, it's like none of it's working. To the point where they were like, you're going to have to get your large intestines removed. Like none of this medicine's working. To where I was so unhealthy, and I couldn't do anything. And so, I guess a year ago, I got my first of 3 surgeries to get my colon removed. So I went up to Cleveland, Ohio, and got it done up there.
And was that a big surgery?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I had a colostomy bag for 9 months right here.
Did that hurt?
Yeah, it sucked, and I felt like I'm a 21-year-old guy. I shouldn't be dealing with this stuff, you know.
You're only 21?
At this point, yeah, 21 or 22. My last surgery was this past October, and now I'm completely healthy. It's such a blessing.
Great, yeah.
Because that was a long process.
Yeah,
of just
sure.
For the past 6 years being unhealthy.
So when did you find out that the disease? I mean, like when you applied for the Marine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shortly after I signed the papers.
So before then, didn't feel anything?
No, I couldn't tell. In high school, I was completely normal, and then once college, or like that summer going into college, I started feeling just like really unhealthy. A lot of stomach problems and bowel problems. I won't go into detail, but yeah, I could tell I was sick, and so I got diagnosed with that. And then, just, of course, no medicine worked, and eventually had to get it all taken out.
Yeah.
And now, like, I don't have the large intestines, so I guess dehydrated more, but like I'm completely healthy. My diet's normal. It's insane. I never thought like I could be normal again.
But do you have to take the pills and stuff?
No medicine,
okay, great.
Which is so nice.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a normal person for once in my life.
Awesome.
I guess since I was 18.
That's great.
Yeah, well, my point to say I got lost in where I was going with that, but it's like that grew my faith a lot. Because this whole time I'm doubting, like as well. I'm like, why me? Why am I having to deal with this so young? A lot of just pain, like emotional with the breakup, and then physical with this disease. I'm like, why is this happening? You know?
Yeah.
And so through all that helped me, like, that made me like grow my faith more. When I was at this past job, I didn't feel satisfied. I didn't have peace about staying there long term. And so this mentor of mine, Jake, he was like, have you thought about ministry? Because he's been with me through this whole process, and he's seen how much I've grown and how much I enjoy learning about this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was praying about it, and it just kind of like a light bulb like just switched on. I'm like, this is definitely what I want to do. And so that was about 1.5 years ago.
How come? What did you see for like being in a ministry?
It was, I interned at the church he was at, because he's a youth and young adult pastor. So I interned for him, and I just loved it. Some of the things that stood out to me is like the joy that I had in it, the peace that I had making the decision, and the passion that I had for learning this stuff and wanting to teach it. Even though I'm introverted, I never thought I'd do it because I hate talking in front of people. But I don't know, just when it gets to stuff about ministry, I can just feel it, like I love doing it. And so those are the big three things: the joy, the peace, and the passion.
That's great.
And what helped, I read this book called Is God Calling Me by Jeff Hillford, and I read that, and those were kind of the things he pointed out. It's like if you have these things, it gives you a clue. So once I figured out that, I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to do ministry.
Yeah.
And so once I finished with that internship at the church this past December, and once I was healthy after the surgery in October, I was like, okay, I'm going all in. I'm going to quit my job and going to go to seminary in person.
What about other seminaries?
I did look at Southern, which is in Louisville, Kentucky, which is honestly closer to my home, which is like 3 hours away from Nashville. And so I thought that was it. I planned the whole thing out. I thought for sure this is where I'm going, and I toured it, and I did not get a good feeling about it. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I could not see myself living here. I can't see it. And I knew the programs for like Southern Baptist seminaries were going to be similar. Yeah, I just did not get a good feeling about living there. And I was driving back home after I toured it. I was pissed off because I was so sure that's where I was going to go. And I was praying, and so I ended up calling New Orleans that night and getting a tour for the next week. And once I toured New Orleans, like within the first 10 minutes, I was like, yeah, this is where I want to go. I just had a peace about it that I couldn't explain. I was like, I could definitely see myself living here.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And that was it. And now I'm here. Moved here a month later.
How did you like it so far?
I loved it. I love it here. I can't imagine going anywhere else. I just like the city, the opportunity to serve. There's a lot of unique ministries that I don't think I'd find elsewhere.
Yeah.
But
so like, are you doing any like ministry at the church?
Yeah, I've been trying to get involved in the port ministry. They go to a few of the things they do. They go to container cargo ships.
Okay.
And like offer services, like give them rides to Walmart and back. So it's a Christian ministry.
Yeah.
But their whole goal is to help these guys out in like a tangible way, give them rides to Walmart or pick up mail for them or just random other stuff. But like their real goal is to share the gospel, because these people are coming from around the world. I mean, you get people from Philippines, Korea. We went to a ship from Korea the other day. India, China, the nations are coming to us, and so we're able to go on these ships and like share the gospel. That's the whole goal.
Right.
While we're actually like helping them out in a tangible way.
Exactly.
So that's been really cool to be a part of.
That's nice.
Especially since I want to do missions. I think reaching the nations where I'm at now is going to help me prepare me later.
Yeah. So the ministry that you're currently doing, the port ministry.
Yeah.
Okay. So probably there's a specific time that you can share the gospel to those people, right? So what's their reaction after like you sharing the gospel to them?
The few times I've been there, I normally am paired up with like one of the staff members since I'm just a volunteer.
Yeah.
So I'm with like a chaplain who has a lot more experience than me. But a lot of these times, they're really receptive. I guess it depends the people group. Like the Filipinos, they're really like hospitable. But I've also heard like the Chinese people are kind of a little standoffish, and there's a lot of Indians, and they're kind of more standoffish too. But I guess it depends the person. But because some people love talking to you, and some people are just kind of like, they'll listen, but they don't really care. They just want to go to Walmart, or they just want to pick up mail. But you kind of get a range of reactions. But sometimes this haven't happened to me yet, but like ships, the captains will invite people on board for dinner, and those are the best times to share the gospel. It's when these people take you in and hang out with you for a couple hours. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I wouldn't find this anywhere else other than New Orleans, because it's such a big port city.
They have a huge port out there.
Yeah. So people all around the world come to us, which is awesome.
That's cool.
And cruise ships too. That's another part. It's not only container ships. They'll drive like a huge bus from the cruise ship to wherever these people need to go. So it's pretty cool.
So, if you're ever sharing the gospel to people, are you using any like Bible verses too? Yeah,
I've always I took evangelism this past semester, which is really helpful. The class with Dr. Nix, but like the Romans Road, walking through, I don't have like it before me, but I start out from like, we are sinful, like the wages of sin is death. It's like Romans, 3:23? And we deserve hell, pretty much. Like helping people realize that we fall short of a perfect God, that will never obtain salvation on our own. It is only through the cross. So getting to the point to help them see the sin in their lives, and realize that we can't work our way up to heaven. And then that's when I try to get into Jesus, and the hope that it provides. Of course, I word it, I feel like, differently every single time I do it. But yeah, I try to start out from the brokenness of life, from class counseling. You start there and then get to Jesus. Once these people realize that they're sinful and they're in need of a Savior. And some people may never realize that. Cool. But
that's a really good approach. What's your favorite Bible verse? Do you have like a live Bible verse for you?
Yeah, well, this is a kind of a new one, but like Romans 5:8, I think it is. It was like, despite it's new, so I'm trying to remember it word for word. Every translation is different, but it was like, while we are still yet sinners, Christ died for us.
You can take a peek if you want.
I need to. While we were still yet sinners, Christ died for us, and I love that. I think I heard that in missions. I was like, I love it. It's my favorite. Romans 5:8. But God demonstrates His own love for us in this: while we are still yet sinners, Christ died for us. So I like using that when sharing, because it shows that we don't deserve anything. We don't deserve to go to heaven.
Everything's gonna be okay.